So today we're looking at Windows configuration and how some settings and applications work on the Windows system. Actually, the IT Essential course deals with the latest Windows version which it had as of that time when it was latest. But that's Windows 10. But I'll be taking us through Windows 11 because that's actually the latest Windows version. So it's good that we are acquainted with latest technology, not old technology. All right. So we were learning about the Windows desktop, configuring the Windows with control panel. We'll talk about the system administration, command line tools, which is the command prompt, and PowerShell. Talk about networking, common preventive maintenance techniques for operating systems, and basic troubleshooting processes for Windows operating system. All right, so let's look at the desktop and file explorer. So Windows has actually existed since 1985, and there have been over 25 versions. So Windows comes in either 32-bit or 64-bit editions. In the case of 10, 12 editions were developed and released. However, only 9 are currently offered. So when you look at Windows 10, you see 1909, 1900 something, 20H1, 20H2. So those are then around about every 4 months, there's always a release of a new version of Windows. But now, as at October 5th, 2021, Windows 11 was released. So let's look at it. Windows 7 was released October 2009, and remember it was before Windows 7 we had Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 2000, and the outdated versions of Windows. So and it has improved interface, improved taskbar, libraries, home group file sharing, and the rest. Then it's actually Windows new applications actually stopped being able to be run by Windows 7 as at January 2020. So whatever new version or new feature that Windows had as at January 2020, it was no longer supported by Windows 7. Then Windows 8.0 came out as about October 2012. So the interface was optimized for mobile devices, antivirus included. As at then, Windows didn't have anything like antivirus or security. So it was invented with the Windows 8.0. So File Explorer was replaced, Windows Explorer rather was replaced with File Explorer, and it was actually unpopular. Windows 8.0 was actually unpopular and was kind of hard to learn. Windows 8.0 actually was harder to learn because people could not actually navigate through its user interface. Things like when you want to close an application, it was no longer the X button that would have been at the top right corner. It was like more like you have to actually double click at the top of your screen, drag the window to the base of your screen, and that was how you were going to close an application. Then they actually improved that by releasing Windows 8.1. When the start screen was more similar to Windows 7, more interface configuration options. So it was now easier to close applications. People no longer complained about some of these things. Then Windows 8.1 actually have reached its compatibility limits, which means that since January 2023, any new application or software that is compatible with Windows devices would not be compatible with Windows 8.1 and below. So as at July 2015, Windows 10 was released. Now, Windows 10 looked a little more like Windows 7, but it actually had a better user interface, improved desktop interface, combines menu entries and tiles in the start menu. So it was more like a combination of Windows 7 and Windows 8. So, and it supported universal apps, and it now had an action center, a Windows action center. I think I'm going to have to share my entire screen so that I'll be explaining all these immediately. All right. So this is what is called the action center. The action center is where actually you would see your notifications and the rest. So Windows 11, you'll see something like looks like a call out icon by this part, and you right there you see where you can increase your brightness, manipulate your volume, off turn on your Wi-Fi or turn off your Wi-Fi, and you also see your notifications. And okay, so Windows 11 now came up. Windows 11 came up with a pretty more um, friendly and very attractive user interface, as you can see. So you can see how Windows 11 interface is. So I'm actually showing you right here. Whereas the taskbar now, the icons on the taskbar was no longer aligned to the left side, but aligned to the right, to the middle part. So normally my start menu would have been on the left part here, but right now it's in the middle. My icons are aligned to the middle. Then my notification panel was separated from the action center. So this is actually the action center, where if I should click on it, I can actually manipulate, turn on my Wi-Fi, turn on my Bluetooth, VPN, airplane mode, and the rest, and quickly open up my settings from here. Then my notifications panel differently. So then in Windows 10, instead of having something called like a focus mode, what's now in Windows 11, we have more like a snooze icon right here, which is do not disturb. So once do not disturb is turned on, it's like this. So I'll no longer receive notifications here. So Windows 11 also supports universal apps that run on desktop and mobile devices. For example, I have my Instagram here. You can see I have my WhatsApp, I have my Telegram, I have my Slack, and GitHub application right here, and also Spotify, where I can play music. So all these applications, you can find them on mobile devices also. So Windows 10 was even actually the upgrade that introduced Microsoft's Edge browser. Then in previous Windows devices, what we had was Internet Explorer. But you can see this is Microsoft Edge right here. And it's actually a browser that's optimized for Windows computers. Unlike Chrome, I think I have Chrome here. People always complain about Chrome that Chrome slows down their systems. Chrome does this, Chrome does that. But Microsoft Edge is much more lighter and occupies lesser amount of your memory. So new updates model with feature updates twice yearly and quality of cumulative updates monthly. So if I should check for updates now, I'm going to have some cumulative updates available, which will be available Windows 11. Now let's catch up. Okay, so we're looking at personalizing your Windows desktop. So personalization has to do with customizing your Windows to look the way you want it to look. So themes has to be the fast way to change the look of your GUI, app environment tags. Let's just quickly launch into proper practicals. So if you want to open up your themes panel or your personalization panel, you can just right click on your screen and you go to display settings or Windows 11. While on Windows 10, if you right click on your screen, what you're going to see is change device resolution and personalize. So you can click on personalize either ways. So I'm going to click on display settings and right here, so under my display settings, you can see I can adjust my brightness the way I want it to. I can turn on night lights on and off. So HDR has to do with high definition, having high definition video when I'm playing, high dynamic range rather while I'm playing videos. Then I can also change the scale of my icons and the way everything appears. So right now I'm using 100%. So that's why you can see some of my icons are tiny. So let me just use the 150% that's recommended. So you can see everything is now bigger than they would look like normally. So you can see the difference. So I think I should leave it like this. So I think I should leave it like this so that everybody can see what I'm doing. So I can actually change my screen resolution right here. Then change my display orientation. Change my display orientation so I can make my screen portrait. You know, there are some laptops that can be flipped. So those laptops are, most of them are actually touch screens. So if you want to use a laptop in portrait mode, you can do that. So you can see my screen is in portrait now. So I'm just going to revert that. So everything can be normal again. Then multi-displays. Multi-displays has to do with you connecting or projecting to a secondary computer. So that's when every option here you'll be able to see that. Then advanced display settings here actually has to do with you being able to customize the refresh rate of your monitor. So I can reduce mine to 40 hertz, but I can actually give it at 60 hertz so that this refresh rate has to do with the rate at which your system is able to change from pixel to pixel or move pixels. So when I move like this, I will not be seeing some flickers around this border. So that's what the refresh rate actually does. Then let's go back. Graphics. So graphics here has to do with apps that require a lot of graphic memory to process them. So you can customize those apps here. Then let me make this thing full screen so that all the options can appear. So now let's look at personalization. So personalizing, remember I told you on Windows 10, if you right click, you're going to see personalize there, and you're going to also see change screen resolution. So that change screen resolution comes under display. Sorry, was someone trying to say something? Okay. So right here, this is where I can change the backgrounds of my computer system. So you can see my desktop background. I can manipulate it right here, and my desktop background is going to change. So you can see it has changed here. Let me just come here. At this right on your desktop, when you come to your taskbar here, at the extreme end at the right, there's a small button there that seems to be invincible. Sometimes if you set, depending on your settings, once you hover your mouse there, it's going to show your desktop. But I didn't make my own to show like that, but I'm just going to click on it once so you can see my desktop. So you can see now that my desktop background has changed. Let me come back to my display settings. So I can actually browse for other photos and use it as a background if I want to. So when I click on browse, I'll be able to do that. Then I can choose to see if my image can actually fill or fit my screen. So if I click on fit, it's going to actually look at, it's going to show the full image in portrait. Look at the image is actually a portrait image, but you can see it does not fill my desktop screen. It's just going to be one-sided. Let me show you how that looks like. So you can see this place is blank, this place is blank. But I'm just going to actually go back to fill. Stretch does other things. You can explore that on your own. Then going back to personalization. So Windows 10, depending on your version, Windows 10 comes with different themes. It comes with light theme, it comes with a dark theme. So right now I'm actually running on a dark theme. So if I come to themes, you see that I can select multiple themes depending on what I want. So everyone that has these here, you can see Windows lights. You can see the color of this action center here is white. But let's just go there. So once I click on dark, you can see I'm already on dark. Let me go to light. You see that everything is going to turn white on my desktop once I click on the light thing. So you can see now everything is white. That's because I'm using a light theme now. Okay, so I think I prefer a dark theme because of the amount of light that hits the eyes. So it's much more comfortable. So I'm just going to select a dark theme. All right, so I can also manipulate my background. So I can actually have a slideshow on my desktop. So a slideshow actually shows me a list of images. So once I click on choose a folder, the slideshow is actually going to rotate every of the image that is inside this folder. So let me just close this back. So you can see change picture every 30 minutes. Let me just quickly use a, okay, I think this one should have that. Let's see. So you can next desktop background if I don't want to have that one. So that's how the slideshow works. So accent colors has to do with the color of your taskbar. You can see my taskbar now is red. It's still in the center, as you can see. It's not close to the edge here. It's just that my icons are a bit big. We'll come to that. Then if I change it to blue, you see that my taskbar is going to turn blue. So I've changed it to blue. You can see now my taskbar is blue. So let's take it back to the default. All right. So it asks me show accent color on start and taskbar. So once I turn this off, you are going to see a difference now. So let's see what that happened to this. Look at my taskbar now. My taskbar is black now, as you can see. It's no longer showing the color on my start and my taskbar. But once I turn this option on back, so you can see even there's even a border here, and my taskbar is now red. My start menu too is red. So that's all of that. So let's look at arranging the desktop screen. I've talked about personalizing the windows. Let's look at search, the start screen, and tiles. So look at the start screen. This is actually the start screen, and these are the apps that are arranged in tiles. So I can actually rearrange them by moving them. You can see this. I can manipulate their positions. So let's see if I can actually put two apps. You know the way we can arrange in our mobile applications, we can actually do the same thing here. So this is actually a folder, and I can open it and call this social media. Maybe it's a capital M. So we have that social media. So I'm going to add all of my social media apps to that. So if I want to open up, if I want to open up all my apps, I have to just click on all apps, and I have all my applications here. So I can add different applications if I want. So I have my Instagram there already. I'm just going to add my Telegram. So once I want to add my Telegram to start, all I just need to do, right click on Telegram. Once I right click with my mouse, I click on pin to start. So let me also add WhatsApp. So this is WhatsApp right here. Okay, it's already on my start menu, and I don't have WebEx pinned there, so I'm going to pin it also. All right, so I'm going to go back. Now, if I scroll down, I have my Telegram here. I can drag it up and pin it, add it to this folder, social media. Add this also to this folder, social media. So that's that. So these are all shortcuts right here recommended. These are previous files that I've opened in the past that Windows is recommending for me to open. Then this is actually where I would power on or sleep my computer system. All right, then also I can search for an application. So you can see search for settings, app, and documents. I just need to click on the search bar, and I'm going to type, let me just see, Telegram. So you can see my Telegram application has appeared right here. So once I click on it, it's going to open up for me. So you can see my Telegram is open. So I'm going to close that back. All right, so next we're talking about the taskbar. The taskbar displays all applications installed on the computer, a list of recently opened documents, a list of other elements such as search feature, help and support, and control panel. Okay, so let's just quickly explore the taskbar. So if I want to open up my taskbar settings, I can actually search for it on my search menu here under my start menu. So I can search for taskbar, or I can just go straight to my settings and open it up. But I think my settings already opened here. So I can, okay, there's actually, sorry, I'll actually open the link instead of, all right. So I can open up my taskbar right here. So this is actually my taskbar settings. So look at, you can see now my search icon is also appear here. I think I have to make all these my icons a little bit smaller so that everything can appear a little bit compact. Okay, so let me just do that quickly in my display settings. All right, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Yes. All right. So that's my icons. I have a lot of icons in my taskbar, so it might not. Let me even make it 100% back, so things are more compact. Okay, I think this is better. So we can see the changes, every change I'm making on my taskbar. So right, I'm going to go back to my taskbar, which is right here. So I actually hid my search icon, so I'm going to look at show search icon only. So you can see my search icon is there. Show icon and label. So you can see it has search here. So if I want to search for an app, I can automatically search there. Show search box. So it actually show a box now. Okay, on Windows 10 it's actually going to show a box, but Windows 11 is just going to show you this way. So I think I prefer to hide my search icon. Then this task view actually shows you the amount of applications open your computer system. So you can see this, every app open my computer system is right here. I don't know if you can see that because I'm sharing screen, but let's go back. So I can, if I hide this icon, it's going to go back. Then there's something called the widgets. So if I open it up, it's going to appear by this left part of my screen. So this is actually what the widget does. It's going to show me some applications and news that are available for me. So if I should click on it, it's going to take a little while to load. So I'm just going to leave that and turn it off back. Then chat actually has to do with Google app. So if I turn it on, it's going to appear here, but I'm going to turn it off back. So you can, for laptops that have touch pads, it's good to always turn on your touch. And also this actually shows you the mouse pad on your taskbar, so you can see virtual touchpad. Some desktop will actually show you the amount of fingers that are your mouse pad currently. So I think I have to turn off that. Other system tray icons. So some of these icons are hidden, so you can see some of my icons are hidden, but if I should turn them on, they are all going to appear down here. So let me show you that. For example, once I turn on WebEx, turn on Bluetooth, turn on WebEx, turn on uTorrent, let's see what happens. So you can see Bluetooth has appeared here, my WebEx is still there. So anyone I turn on actually shows right here. So my WebEx doesn't actually show right here on it by itself, but Bluetooth can. So I'm going to turn it off back, and it's going to go back to my hidden icons. All right, so next, taskbar behavior. So automatically hide the taskbar. That's why you'll be wondering why my taskbar goes inside and I put my mouse and it comes up back. That's because I checked this box, automatically hide taskbar. Once I take it off, my taskbar shows permanently. So right now, I can see my taskbar is showing and it's hiding right, it's hiding back because of the slide that is open. So let me just close this slide. So you can see my taskbar is showing permanently now. So show badges on taskbar. Badges actually, like our phones will have, when you have WhatsApp messages, you can see 34 right here. So if I should just hide this, you can see the 34 has disappeared. When you turn it on back, You can see my email 99 plus 34. WebEx has badges also. Share any window from my taskbar. Now, this is how this works. Very easy. Like now, I'm on a Meet. So once I just come to PowerPoint, I can click on share this window. Once I click on share this window, the application automatically share only that window. I'm not going to do that now. But if I should uncheck this, look at this now, that option has disappeared. I can no longer share that particular window. But I think I love that feature. So show seconds in system tray clock. It actually uses more power. So once I turn it on, you can see the second number actually shows on my clock. So I don't need that to be on. So that's about the taskbar. We're going to move to the next one. Okay, I just finished. All right, so the task manager now. The task manager is actually an application that helps you to manage tasks on your computer system. So if you want to open up your task manager, you can actually search for it, task manager. So you can say task manager. Once I open it, it's going to open, or you can come to your taskbar and right click and you're going to see task manager here. There's also a shortcut for doing that, which is Control plus Shift plus Escape. It automatically opens your task manager. So I'm going to press it right now, Control Shift and Escape. So I just pressed it. So my task manager is opened. So as you can see, everything right here, process, the processes, performance, app history, startup, users, details, and services. So you can see, and you can see services shows all available services and their status details. Makes it possible to change the level of COU priority, CPU priority, actually, not COU, for a given process. Then also users shows who is currently connected to the PC and the system resources they are using. So users actually is the amount of persons that are using your computer. You know, we talked about virtualization, technology, and cloud computing. So somebody can actually use your laptop remotely as long as your laptop is powered on. Then also it shows how many users are signed in. Let me say you created a new user, and if both of them are signed in, it's going to show right there. Then app history displays historical resource utilization such as CPU time, network, data usage, data uploads and downloads. Then performance shows dynamic system performance graphs for variety of options, including CPU, memory, disk, Ethernet. That's your internet actually. Then process is a set of instructions started by the user or the OS. So let's just explore that right now. So I'm on the process tab. So you can see any process actually I actually end from here is going to actually close up. So for example, let's say I open up VLC media player. So I'm opening up, so VLC is open now. Let me go back to my task manager. So you can see VLC is open. Once I click on it, so you can see end task. You can see run a new task. So let me click on end task. Look at what happened. So my VLC is open, right? This VLC right here. Let me click on end task. So you can see VLC has closed, has shut down. So it ends that, terminates that process. Sometimes your applications might be stuck. So what you need to do is just to open up Task Manager and kill that task. Then for file like Windows Explorer, you do not kill the task, you actually restart it because Windows Explorer is attached to system, meaning system processes. So you cannot end it. There are some other system processes that you cannot end. Some of them, if you try to end them, you might actually shut down your laptop or your desktop. So with Windows Explorer, whenever sometimes you find that your task manager, your task bar is no longer showing, you press start menu, is not showing, you can't even open start, you can't do anything. This thing is just hidden. So you can actually press the shortcut Control plus Shift plus Escape to open up your task manager and restart your Windows Explorer. If I do that now, it might actually turn off the screen recording and even close the WebEx app. So I'm not going to be doing that. Then, so settings actually a pause, so I can end the task and all that. So that's all about processes. Performance, like I said, shows graphs. So we can see my CPU usage, how much CPU is being utilized. If it's up to 100% and the list here is 0, you can see the speed, how many cores I have, 2 cores, 4 logical processors, 1 CPU socket, because only 1 CPU that is in my laptop. The base speed is 2.50 gigahertz. So you can see the speed that is actually on, that is actually being used now, and that is about 42%. Then the processes, 233 processes currently running. So if I come to processes, the amount of processes that are running right now are about 233. Let's go back to performance. So talking about the memory, talking about my RAM. So I have about 9.1 gig of RAM available, and 6.4 gig is in use. Then for cached, I have 2.5 gig and 7.1 out of 20.9 gig is being used. Then disk has to do with my hard drive. So my capacity of my hard drive is 177 gig, and it shows the activities, the active time, average response time. Then Ethernet has to do with my cable connected, so it's going to show this. Then my Wi-Fi, actually the Wi-Fi usage. So sometimes you want to know my system is, you want to know how much data your system is using per time. You can just come here and explore. You can see I'm actually running on 200 to 300 kilobytes per second, and receiving about 16 to 8 kilobytes per second. So this is actually my current download speed and my current upload speed, but not my highest download speed and my highest upload speed. So if I'm downloading something right now, you're going to see that this guy is going to skyrocket. So GPU has to do with the amount of virtual memory being used. That has to do with your graphics processor. All right, so that's that. App history, like you said, displays the historical resources, utilization, startup, applications that start up whenever you power on your laptop. So all of these, I disabled a lot of them because I don't want them to actually exhaust my battery as soon as possible. So a lot of these are disabled. So you can actually disable, let me say something keeps popping up, maybe your notepad or an application keeps opening up by itself, things like Discord, some WhatsApp, sometimes Telegram will always open up by itself. So you can actually come here, things like Skype too. So if I should enable Skype, it means that once I power on my system, Skype automatically open by itself. So I disabled all of this because they actually take a lot of battery. So users, you can see I'm the only one logged in using my laptop. That's why my account is showing here. So details, you can see makes possible to change the level of CPU priority. So if I want to, you can see I can set the priority to normal, high, above normal, below, low, and the rest. So services shows the amount of services that are being run on your computer system. So some applications require services. For example, this application here, SCP Toolkit. Let me see if I can show the name. Okay, I can only exit it. So I can actually open the services can also be opened in another tab. So where to show every of your services that is open on a computer system or that is running or that can be run. So there are some services that I can just start. Or restart the service or pause the service. So most times professionals work with these tools. So that's all about Task Manager. So Task Manager Windows 7 is quite a little bit different. So you'd see applications, processes, services, performance, networking, users. So this actually works the same way, but it just appears differently. So task manager difference in Windows 10 is that application and process tab have been combined in Windows 10, which is the same thing with Windows 11. So we don't have separated applications and processes like the Windows 7 that are separated. You can see applications here, you can see processes here, they'll be separated. But on the Windows 10, I'm going to open that again. So you can see apps, you can see background processes. They've been merged under processes. That's just what I was just trying to explain. Okay, I just finished explaining that. Then now File Explorer. Let's look at our File Explorer. So File Explorer is used for file management in Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 7. So Windows Explorer actually is used for file management in Windows 7 and earlier. So what you see in your Windows 7 device is not File Explorer, but Windows Explorer. I think they are misplacing the names here. Okay, not misplacing. So what you're going to see is Windows Explorer in Windows 7. So the ribbon is used common tasks such as copying and moving files and creating new folders. So File Explorer is used to navigate the file system, manage files, folders, subfolders, manage applications, and on storage media, preview some types of files. All right, so I'm just going to quickly explain this practically with File Explorer. So I actually have File Explorer here. So on Windows 10, you're going to see, instead of having your home here, you're going to see what is called the favorites. So, but on Windows 11, it has been changed to home, where you're going to see your quick access. I don't have anything added to my favorite, then my recent also. So that's what you're going to see on Windows 7. Then also, when I click on this PC, on Windows 7, you're going to see my computer. Windows XP, you see my computer. Windows 7, you see just computer. On Windows 10 and above, you're going to see this PC. So you can see it, this PC. You can see right here, computer, right here, this PC. So you can see right what is right here, this PC. So this actually shows my drives that I installed on my computer system. And Windows 11 now no longer shows folders. It just shows your device and drivers. So now let's explore File Explorer. So all right, so all right, so let's look at this. So this is my desktop, which is every icon that's showing on my desktop, every folder on my desktop, and every shortcut on my desktop. So if I should come here and show you my desktop, so every icon you're seeing here is the same thing as the icons showing right here. So you can say blur, all my shortcuts are here. So the same thing I showed on my desktop screen. So if I should drag anything and drop it on my desktop, it's going to actually appear right here. Then downloads, this is another folder that contains things like download, my documents, other folders, my images, which is stored in my pictures, music. I also have all my music right here, videos, and some other recent folder that I've worked on. So I'm just going to go back. Then next, let's look at administrator, running as administrator. So modern operating systems improve security by only allowing users with their known permission to access files. So system files, other user files, or files with elevated permissions are examples of files that could lead Windows to deny access to a user. So to override this behavior and gain access to those files, you must open or execute them as a system administrator. To open or execute a file using elevated permission, right-click the file and choose Run as Administrator, as shown in the figure. So choose yes and the computer and the user account control window. Okay, choose yes in the user account control window. So I'm going to actually show you what this means now. So there are some things like antiviruses. So let me just quickly open my Windows Defender to show you what I'm talking about. So for example, for me to be able to wipe or clean threats from my computer system, Windows Defender would need to run as administrator. So let me see protection history. So for example, now I want to show this. You can see, okay, I don't think you are going to be seeing this page right now because I'm actually sharing screen. My screen might just turn black on your end, but whenever it's going to actually open a user account control and ask you whether yes or no, you want to allow the application to make changes on your device. So all you have to click is yes. And once I've done that, it's going to open up this for me. So I can now take more decisions. So there are also some applications that will require you to run as administrator. So if you want to do that, you can actually right click on the application. For example, if I right click on this application right here, you can see run as administrator right here. So I can run this application as administrator. I can open it directly. So if I want to give it an admin right, such as let me say I want to give it access to some system files, I have to run it as administrator. Windows libraries, which I already explained, it's actually Windows libraries allow you to easily organize content, including real media, without actually moving the file. So library is a virtual folder that presents content from different locations within the same view. So Windows 10 is installed. Each user has 6 default libraries as shown in the figure. So Windows 10, when you open your libraries, you're going to see this default folders right here. So in Windows 10 and Windows 8.1, the libraries are hidden by default. Right click the left panel from the left pane of the File Explorer window for the context menu option that shows the libraries. So right now on Windows 11, you're not going to actually see that because it's kind of outdated. There's no need for you to have a library folder if you can quickly access those from your home. So this is actually what you would see on your libraries, things like your documents, downloads, so your pictures, your music, and your videos. So you can see pictures, save pictures, music. So all those are, you already have access to them directly here. So there's no need for having libraries again to repeat those folders. So that's why they remove that. It's just too much hassle. All right, so directory structures. The root level of the Windows directory structure, the partition is usually labeled drive C. So every file or in your computer system is virtually in your drive C. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Right when I click on this PC, so this is drive C, which is my hard drive where my Windows is installed. So it's local disk C. So if I should open it, what you're going to see is local disk C, and let's say I open this folder, open another folder, open this one. All right, so I'm going to come to that now. So the number of nested folders is limited by the maximum length of the path to the folder. So in Windows 10, the default limit is 260 characters. Then the figure shows several nested folders in File Explorer along with the equivalent paths. So you can see level 1, level 2. So this level 3 is actually inside this level 2, and level 2 is actually inside level 1. Level 1 is actually inside document. So I'm just going to explain that. Let me open this to explain it. This is very long. This is very, very long. Let me use this to explain it. So let's assume I open this my safe, which is actually located right here. I partition my hard drive, so I have that. So let's say I open this folder. So you can see this here. This is actually like level 1. So I open it again. So I've opened, let me open this now. So let me open machine learning again and images. So you can see right now where I am. So this is images right here. So this is images. So if I should go back, it's going to go into module 1. So this is module 1 here. So you can see that's where it's highlighted right here. You can see it's highlighted. If I should go back again, it has gone to the previous level. If I go back again, it has gone to the previous level. If I go back again, I'm inside my save D. So it's still in this level now. So that's how those are being activated. All right, so user and system file locations. So user folders, Windows stores most of the files created by the user in the user folders or user. This is how the user, you can find the user folder. So let me just show you that. So when I come to this PC, remember everything is stored inside this drive. So I'm going to come to users. When I open up my users, this is user again, that's me, and you're going to see things like my desktop, my documents, my downloads. So everything inside this folder here, you can see is the same thing as what is inside here. So if I click on downloads here, it's the same thing. You can see programs, these images. So let me go back. So you can see programs. These are those images that we're showing. Let me just quickly change the view so you can see that it's the same thing. You can see I changed the view, it's the same thing. So I can actually change the way it's displaying from right at this point. So we have users, so you can see users, then the user's name. My name is actually user, and you see the different files and folders here. So system folders, most files used to run a Windows operating system computer are found in the folder Windows and System 32. So under local disk, if I come to Windows and I go to System 32, so this is actually System 32 right here. This is where system folders are actually located. Things like your drivers, .dll. So you see a lot of .dll files here that if you tamper with some of all these files, some applications might not work properly. So these actually, when you hear things like DirectX, it comes to store some DLL files here. You can see that my Direct3DX. So this DirectX 10, DirectX 10. These are all the files that comes with DirectX 10. So you can see Direct3D, D3DX. So that's all that. So program files, this folder is used by most application installation programs to install software. So it's actually when you install a computer in an application, it actually stores inside program files. But you will find out that there are two program files here. So you see this first one, which is just program files, and this second one, which is program files x86. So when you see this number here, it actually is for 32-bit programs. So remember I said that there are some softwares that are for 32-bit systems and some software that are for 64-bit systems. And 64-bit systems are backward compatible. If you've watched or you're in our previous classes, I said that. So 64-bit applications are installed in this folder here, which is just program files. So for example, let me see if I can see Microsoft. Just trying to check if I would see something that has 64 attached to it. So, okay, I don't think I'm going to see that here. Then for the 32-bit programs, they are installed right here. So other programs that are compatible with just 32 bits are installed here. So file extensions. Files adhere to Windows naming conventions. A maximum of 255 characters allowed. So when you want to name a file, the maximum amount of characters you can use are 255. So when I say characters, I mean letters, symbols, points, and numbers. So characters such as slash, forward slash, or backslash are not allowed in naming a folder. Let me just prove that to you. So let me just go to my downloads and try and rename this folder. Let me rename this file here. So I'm just going to come to rename, which is right here. So you can see that if I should put a forward slash key, so you can see a file name cannot contain any of the following characters: forward slash, backward slash, colon, asterisk, question mark, quotes, greater than, less than, and this bar. You can see that. So that's exactly what is being explained right here. An extension of 3 or 4 letters is added to the file name to identify the file type. File names are not case sensitive. By default, file extensions are hidden. So you can see this one has .png associated with it, which means it's an image. PNG stands for portable network graphics. So this is an example of a PNG file. So if I should put my mouse on it, you can see PNG file. Now let me open up the properties so that you can see what I'm talking about. So you can see the file extension is .png right here, .png, and this is actually the name of the file. So if I wanted to show all right, if I wanted to show file extensions, I can actually do that from here. Let me see that. Okay, right now I won't have show hidden files here. Okay, look at it here. Show file name extension. So once I turn this on, all my file extensions are going to be showing. You can see this one now is showing .png, .jfif. If I click on this one, you're going to see the name there. Look at .jfif. You can see all of this .pdf. So I can turn this off back and they will all disappear and just my file names are showing. So give me another minute. I think I need to turn my power on since I'm going to be running out of power soon. Let's all right. So configuring Windows with control panel. Right, so it's a part of the computer called the control panel. Panel on the search box and click the control panel desktop app that appears in the results. And if you right click on the results, you can pin it to the start menu to make it easier to find. I showed you how to pin something to the start menu. Then you can also open it from command prompt by typing control. So let's try from the command prompt. So by typing control. So you can see the control panel has opened up. Now, the control panel actually has different views. By default, it shows like this. So you can see the category view, small icon view, which I just showed you now. So Windows 10 control panel opens the category view by default. Both views also provide a search box which will return a list of control panel items. Now, different categories: system and security, network and security. Let's just explore them as I'm talking about them. So system and security, you have to view, it helps you to view, configure security settings such as Windows Defender, firewall, network and internet security. Internet actually able to configure, verify and troubleshoot networking and file sharing. Then hardware and sound helps you configure devices such as your printers, your peripherals, and some other hardware connected to your computer system. Then programs actually helps you to change or uninstall a software from your computer system or a program from your computer system. User accounts um, helps you to create new users for your computer system. Then ease of access. Ease of access actually makes it easier for you to use your computer system, especially people with who require some kind of aids. You know, the way applications are being built now, things like inclusiveness are being considered, whereas people with deficiencies can be able to use computer systems also. So ease of access comes with things like computer narrate, Microsoft Narrator, high contrast mode, which for people with blindness or eye defects. Narrator comes with people that also people that can't see at all to actually use or read to use the computer system. So the clock and region helps to configure your date, time, and time format. The appearance and personalization helps to configure taskbar navigation, file explorer, and available fonts. Okay, so let's just go into some deep things in the control panel. So let's go to user accounts. So as you can see right here, the user account, let me use this to cover. So you can see everything is almost the same thing, but a little bit different. So this platform actually helps you to create a new user, remove users. So if I should create a new user, I can add the person here. I can add a user for my children. Let's say I have my laptop here. So I'll password my main account, which is where I have all my applications installed. Then I want to give my children access to my laptop. I can now create a new user for them and just name it children. Then I'll now put some kind of restrictions on that account. Let me see. Yes. So you can see add a new user in PC settings. So it's going to actually open up settings for you. But now there's one thing we need to know about Windows 10 and Windows 11. They've actually upgraded. As you can see, this Windows here this is not Windows 10 actually. This is not actually Windows 10. This is Windows 8 or Windows 8.1. So Windows 10 and Windows 11 have actually become different in a way that the control panel works together with the settings. So you can actually hold open things in the control panel and it redirects you to the settings. So things that you could do before with the control panel directly, you can now do them with the settings directly and not the control panel. So very soon now, they might even eradicate the use of control panel and everything will now be on the settings. So control panel just gives us this legacy view of how an older computer system would look like, of this administrative view, kind of, which makes you feel like you are in control. Then it helps you to create standard user accounts, manage the most configuration settings. So if you want to create a new user or add a new user, it's going to open it in your settings. So you can actually create a new account here for your children, and you're going to input your a new Microsoft account and the rest, and create a new user account for them. All right, so standard user, there are two kinds of accounts. There's standard user accounts. Standard user accounts can manage most configuration settings that don't affect users. Standard user accounts can only access their own files and folders. Some features of the user account utility require administrative privileges and will not be accessible with a standard user account. So there are some things that might require administrative privileges. So those standard users that you created would not be able to use. So as you can see, this is my administrator account. You can see here, administrator. So this is the main account, password protected. So if I should create a new user, that would be a standard user. So let's look at this. And user account control settings. The user account control monitors programs on the computer and warns user when an action might present a threat to the computer system. Let me close this. Hope I'm still recording. Okay, yes. All right, so I can actually search for the user account control settings. So this is user account control settings that's removed to security and maintenance. So this actually gives you the ability to increase security. So the default user account control settings for the primary account is notify me when programs try to make changes to my computer. So you can see normally it's supposed to be here. So the frequency at which it will always notify you is dependent on the height of this bar. So at this point, it will always notify me. But at this point, because I'm actually a professional user, so I don't really need, I actually know what I'm using my laptop to do. And I know the kind of application I install. So I can always use, so I can say recommended if you use familiar apps and visit familiar websites. So for those of you that are not professionals, so just so that hackers don't get access to your computer, it's better you just always just keep these control settings at always notify. So you guys recommended if you routinely install new software and visit unfamiliar websites. So I am very, very careful of the kind of websites I visit in order not to compromise my computer system. So credential manager helps you to manage passwords and that are used for website Windows application. These passwords and usernames are stored in a secure location. You can view, add, edit, or delete the credentials that are stored by credential manager. Web credentials are not safe for sites accessed by browsers other than Internet Explorer and Edge. I think that should be very, very self-explanatory. So if I click on this, so you can see some of my applications, see WhatsApp, all my applications. I have GitHub. So I have username and passwords. First, you can see my username and password. So I'm not going to be showing us that. I can actually, all my applications that I have my account installed, I can manipulate them here. I can remove the passwords from the computer system here totally, and websites will not have access to this. So you can see that your password is actually stored in a secure place, and attackers from online can penetrate your computer system to pump and find this folder where it is actually in order to um get hold of your passwords or credit card information. So for those of you that have used your credit card and you saved it on your browser, you are at risk, because if an attacker attacks you, you might not be able to defend yourself. Okay, so next, Sync Center. So Sync Center allows files to be edited and edited from multiple Windows devices. Sync Center allows a form of version control. Now, using Sync Center requires application of the open offline files features, and this sets us a local file location that will store the files to be synchronized. It also requires you to set up a sync partnership with the networked file location. Files can be synchronized manually, and synchronization can also be scheduled to occur automatically. Microsoft OneDrive offers a similar service. OneDrive is a cloud storage service that is available on Microsoft Windows users. So let's check that out. Let's go to small icons. And this is Sync Center here. So I can set up my sync if I want to actually sync my files to a drive or an online service, Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, and the rest. So as I'm making changes to those files, they automatically updated to the drive. There was even actually a time where I was actually backing up my files automatically to an external hard drive. Each time I plug the external hard drive, if there was any updates, it automatically replaces that one on the external hard drives. So network settings. The network status app in Windows 10 combines many features, many different functions into one high-level app. Now, the network status app links to various other settings app screen. It also links the control panel items like the network and sharing center. Some of these options, such as airplane mode, mobile hotspot, and data usage, are more relevant to mobile devices than to desktop computers. So the network and internet settings. So right here, I can open the okay. Sorry about that. I was just getting some notifications that I was muted. I guess it's a network. All right. So um Okay, I'm back now. I was having some network glitches, so it was affecting my mic. I don't know if you noticed that, but I believe you should be able to hear me now. All right. So back to showing you my network and sharing center. So if I should go to advanced settings, I can manipulate some settings for private networks, public networks, and the rest, just depending. I'm going to come to that right in our slide. So first of all, let's just observe this. Okay, this is what I'm supposed to be showing you instead. So this in my network settings, actually where I can turn off my Wi-Fi, turn on my hotspot, turn on my airplane mode, and the rest. So network and sharing center allows an administrator to configure and review nearly all network settings on a Windows computer, view network status and internet connectivity, configure file and device sharing through the use of network. So I'm just going to quickly show you that. From my settings. Come on, what's happening? Okay. That should be here also. To open network and sharing center right away. Okay, this is actually what I'm looking for. So this is actually where you set up file sharing and printing on your settings. So for public network, file sharing and printing, once this is turned on, it means that if someone can see your laptop or connected to the same network as you are, they'll be able to see your computer system, and you'll be able to send files to each other as long as this file sharing and printing. So these are the print server works. So if you want to actually use a print server or using a shared printer with someone, you have to turn on file sharing and printer sharing. So once this is turned on, you can now print from a print server in public networks. So on private networks, file and printer sharing. So you can actually change the settings, set your networks to either private or public. So I'm going to come to that. In home group, you need to understand that home group is kind of an outdated way of networking in computer systems. So they are intended to make networking in the home easier by requiring a number of configuration. You can share your library folders on the network, make it easy for other devices to access your music, photos, videos, photos, and the rest. But home groups were used in Windows 7 and 8, but Microsoft has been phasing out the home group functionality. So you can see now Windows 8.1 home groups cannot be created. However, Windows 8.1 computers can join existing home groups. So Windows 10 versions, home group functionality is not available. So even Windows level, you will not see anything as home group. So if you're using a Windows 10 in Windows 7 computer, what you're going to see under network here, you're going to see what is called home group. But if I should click on network, you're not going to see anything because it's actually empty. I don't have any other person connected to this my network. So that's actually where you would see other computer systems. Once I click on network, other people connected to my internet or the same Wi-Fi connection as I have will be shown, though their systems will be displayed on the network. And right there, I can have access to their system, copy videos, copy files from their own laptop to my own over the network. Okay, let's see. Let's configure browser settings. Now, let me just quickly show you that Many of us we find out that when we open up our browsers will always start over from the beginning. All our previous tabs will disappear. So I'm just going to quickly show us that. So I'm going to open up the settings. Now I'm using this for Firefox. So generally, when you open up, you can see on startup, open previous windows and tabs. So on my Firefox settings, once this is checked, it means that when I close Firefox and I open it back, it's going to resume from where it stopped, or from where I stopped rather. So I can change to light or dark mode, and I can tweak some other settings right here. Then let me just quickly go straight to the point. In security and privacy, I can actually set security standards. So some website, depending on the kind of security you want, you can just read all the details here. Then passwords. Now, some passwords have been saved to my computer system, and I can access them here. So you can say I made the setting say ask to save logins and passwords for websites, and it always asks me once I input a new password, my browser will just quickly ask me if I want to save the password or not. All right, so let me just quickly show you that on Chrome, since everybody uses Chrome. All right, so I'm just going to open up my settings right here. So you can see I'm going to show you the same thing on. I'm syncing my data. I'm signed into my Chrome, so all my browsing data have been stored on my Google account. Then privacy and security includes my password. I can clear my browsing data and even my cookies, third-party cookies, and the rest. Let me go back. Then I can change my search engine also. Right now, my default search engine is Google. I can change it to DuckDuckGo, Yahoo, Bing, and the rest. Then performance. So power saver is always on. So my Chrome will not always exhaust my battery because Chrome is very, very demanding. Then on startup, just like the same thing I said, you can see continue where you left off. So it means that normally it would have always been on this page, which means that if I should just click on this, if this is what was selected, if I should close my Chrome and open it back, it's going to actually open a new tab, and I'll just lose all of my previous tabs. So I have to just continue where I left off. So that's then my extensions are right here. You can learn more about extensions online. You know how they work. So I'm going to close this back. So here we are. Display settings and configuration. So this actually has to do with when you connect your laptop to or your desktop computer to your projector, you come to the display settings. I actually showed you that earlier, where you can set your resolution, set your scale, and know if a projector is connected to your system. I explained that earlier. So this is how it looks like on a Windows 7 device. Actually the same thing. So you can see scale, resolution, multiple displays. You can see the display here, 1 and 2 on Windows 7, 1, 2. There's actually a third display here, and this is it. So you can now choose what you want to happen on multiple display. Let me just open it up here so we can compare. So you can see display settings, display orientation, displays. What happens? So if I click on detect, you can see there's no extra. We didn't find another display, which means there's no other display connected to my computer system. All right, so then let's go to the next one. I think all of this area. Power options. I explained this in our previous classes, where we set how to how our battery is being used, what happens when we close the lid, what happens when we open the lid, change power plans and the rest. So I don't think I need to be explaining that again. So you can see the same thing when I said what happens when I close, what happens when I open my lid and the rest. But you can always find it in your control panel. Let me change the small icons. So you can see it's right under power options. So you can see it here. If you want to go back to what happens when you close the lid, you can change your plan settings, turn off display after on battery and the rest. And what happens when you turn off the display? Not this. What happens when you close the lid? What happens when you press the power button? You can see everything like you can see there. I explained this earlier in our previous classes. And system control panel item. So the system control panel item allows all users to view basic system information, access tools, configure advanced system. The Windows 10 system control panel item is shown here. So it's very similar to the Windows 7 and Windows 8. The various settings can be accessed by clicking the links on the left panel. So if you want to access this on your control panel, you come to system and security. So you can also access it via system here. So you can see this one actually came here directly, open the settings. Like I said, in Windows 11 and Windows 10, now they are actually merged. It's just older versions of Windows 10 that control panel still function the way it did. So if I change it to category and I go to system, so I come to system, it's still going to show me right here. You can see it's still open the same thing for me. Where let me open it side by side so you can see about. So you can see where if I want to change the name of my PC, I'll click rename this PC. Right here, you can see change settings. Once I click on change settings, I will be able to change the name of my PC there and the rest. Then you can see my PC information, processor, installed RAM, you can see installed RAM, device ID, and the rest. Related links, domain or work group. So you can see the same thing, advanced system settings right here. You can access any of these by clicking any of the links to explore them. So system properties, computer name, where you have your hardware, advanced system protection, remote. So I just click on advanced system settings and you can see this has opened, which is very, very similar to what we have here. So change computer name. I can change my computer name right here, network ID. You can see everything is just the same thing. The hardware. So the hardware is where you access device manager, or I can open my device manager from here. We'll come to that again. System protection, advanced settings, where I can change my performance settings and the rest. System protection, I can protect. You can see system protection is turned on from my local disk. I can do a system restore and the rest. All right, so increasing the performance of my OS, I can actually change the virtual memory configuration settings as shown in this figure. So I can actually even plug a flash drive and allow it to operate as a RAM. Now, for me to do that, let me just open that again so I can show us what or how we can do that. So that's just be under advanced performance. Once I click on settings, I have this under advanced virtual memory. So this is actually where if I have an external flash drive plugged and I want it to work as a RAM, I can just come here and tweak the settings. Right here, it's on automatically manage paging by file size for all drives. So if I should check it, I'll be able to make changes by myself. So let me just leave that checked. Okay. Then device manager. Device manager displays a list of all devices installed on your computer, allowing you to diagnose and resolve device problems. So the device manager utility uses icons to indicate the types of problems that may exist with the device. So you can actually update a driver, rollback driver, uninstall driver. I explained this in our previous class. So if you want to open up your device manager, you can just click on here and search for device manager. So you can see device manager here, where you can update the drivers for your printers and your mouse, whatever peripherals you have connected to your computer system. So you can see all of them here. If I want to update, I can just come here and let me not use the Bluetooth. I can just right click. Let me just quickly show you one on my mouse. So once I click on update driver, you can see search automatically for updates. So you can see the best driver for your device is already installed. So I'm going to close this now. Device and printers. So this displays the devices and printers control panel items that are already connected to your computer system. So device and printers also allows you to quickly add a new device to your computer. In most cases, Windows will automatically install the necessary drivers that are required by the device. And what I said, make you plug a new mouse to your laptop, it automatically installs the drivers. Then the green check mark next to a device indicates that it can be used as default device. So for example, you want to set your default printers. Let me say you have different printers installed. Once it's checked, it means that it's set as your default device. So if you want to open this, you can also search for it in device and so device manager. Not here. Let me open it, show you from the control panel. So from the control panel, home. Under hardware, so you can see device and printers right here. So it automatically opens the settings. So you can see all my devices. This is my mobile device that's currently connected here. If you want to add a device, you can say I can add a new device here, either Bluetooth or wireless, everything else. So that's that. Then sound, use the sound control panel to icons to configure audio devices. For example, you can change the email notification sound, change the beep, and the rest. So let me just quickly open that up so I can access the sound control panel. I can right click on my volume, open sound settings, and once that is open, so okay, that's all sound devices. Okay, so you can see here I can format my microphones and the rest. So you can manipulate your sound audio devices here, but there are also places where from the control panel where you can actually edit audio devices. This is my control panel. This is not my control panel. Let me open it back. All right, so hardware and sound. I'm going to come to sound. So you can see my sound control panel now. So just like the way we have here, I can change the different sounds on my computer system. What happens when I plug this? So message, notification, sound, all of them. So I can manipulate that here and recording. So recording has to do with my microphones that are plugged, audio input devices. So right now there's no audio input device connected, and it's just my microphone that is attached to my mic. So let me just hit on my where my webcam is. Remember I said the microphone is located by the side of the webcam. So if I should hit on it, you can see it actually turning green to show you that my microphone is working. Then while my playback, so you can actually format this also. You can increase the level. So if I should increase the volume of my microphone, you see I find that my voice is going to be much more louder than it is now. So right now it's louder. All right, so Windows is actually automatically reducing the sound for me. So that's based on my settings, and I can actually boost my sound. So if I should boost it, my voice is going to be louder, but Windows is actually processing that for me. So if I want to hear what my microphone is saying, let's say I have I will not advise you to do this, is to click on this when you don't have an earpiece connected. So it's better you have an earpiece connected before you click on listen to this device. So if I should click on listen to this device and click on apply, it's go everything that my microphone receives, I'm going to hear it from my speakers. Then this actually, so playback actually has to do with the speakers that I have connected to my device. Every speaker that I have, headsets or whatever, would show here. So clock region, this actually does have to do with your date and time. So if I right click on my dates here, I can come and look at adjust date and time, and I'll be able to do that from here. Set my time zone, set my time automatically. If I turn it off, I'll be able to manipulate more settings. Look at it, set the date and time automatically. So let me just turn it on back. Then I think you can also do that from your control panel. Let's make it smaller icons. So you can see date and time here. So you can see this, where you can manipulate your date and time, add additional clock, and the rest. Okay. Then clock region, you see that in your format. Language also, you can add languages to your computer system from your settings. Just going to do that to you. So you can say I can add a language if I want to. But right now I'm using United States, US. So most times recommended to actually use UK, because UK we actually use in Nigeria. That's why you have things like when you're typing your Microsoft Word, COLOUR will always be autocorrected to COLOR. So that's because you've not added UK. But I can actually add English. Let me look for United Kingdom. So you can see United Kingdom here. I can just add it. So I have to install it, but I don't think I want to do that now. So that's all about language. So programs is where you actually uninstall programs from your computer system. So you can actually see that right here, uninstall a program under programs. So you're going to see all your applications here installed on your computer system. So you can see Microsoft Visual C++ that you're seeing right here. So you can, if you want to uninstall an application, you can just come here, right click on it and uninstall. So Windows features. Windows features is used to activate some program features and this allows you to view the updates that have been installed on your computer system. So you can also uninstall updates from here, and you can uninstall the updates that are having issues and don't have dependencies with other installed update softwares. So you can always search for that. All of this, you can always search for them. So you can see Windows features here. So you can, anyone you want to turn off, you just uncheck it. Anyone you want to turn on, you check it. So default programs, actually, this has to do with, let me search for you. So this is default apps. So yeah, I'm listening. Okay, so my default apps, things like my browser, what the kind of extension, file extensions that my apps will be opening. So you can see my Firefox will open files with .html, .pdf, and .svg automatically. So that's part of what the default apps does. On Windows 11, it's called default apps, not default program. Okay, but you can actually search for default program on control panel. So you can see default program here. So you can see it opens the same thing for you, default apps, like what I just said. So troubleshooting, I explained troubleshooting for us earlier. So you can search for troubleshooting in your settings. So I can just type. So you can see troubleshooting right here. I explained this earlier, so I'm not going to be doing that again. So BitLocker also, this actually gives you the ability to lock your to secure your device or your hard drive. So when your hard drive is removed from your laptop or your laptop is stolen, they'll not be able to have access to your laptop except they input the password that you put on your device. So you can see BitLocker drive encryption. So you can actually turn it off or on. So mine is actually on. All right, so File Explorer folder options. So let me just quickly open this. So you can actually customize folders and the way they will appear. So for example, documents, look at this folder here. I actually changed the icon. So let me just come to the properties. So you can see what is showing here. So general. So I can actually, from here, I can actually change, share the folder from here, secure this folder, and customize it. So I can change the icon here, and it's going to show only the icon I select. So let me look for some kind of icon that I will love. Okay, so I can change this to font, and you find out that if I click on apply and press OK, and once I come to my, so you can see the icon has changed. So, but you can also come to File Explorer options majorly to change how, whether you want to double click to open a file. You can see single click opens a file, an item, or so once I do this, if I click on an application on a folder once, okay, I've not applied it. Let me click on apply. So I've clicked on apply. So if I just select this folder once, it's open by itself. So it's not more double click. I don't have to double click the second time. So once I change it to double click and I click on apply, so you can see it's refreshing. Once I click once, you can see select, but if I double click, it opens. So that's how that works. So system administrative tools. So that's actually advanced tools that you will only see in the control panel. So and these tools can actually be used to configure the way your computer system operates. So I would not even advise you to tamper with some of all these tools. Like the registry editor, some applications like antiviruses come with registries, and sometimes when you install them, they are not going to install because the registries are still there. So you can come to the registry editor to edit them. So if you want to locate this, you can actually go back to your control panel home and go to the administrative um or let me just quickly search it here. Okay, it looks like in Windows 11, they've actually removed that. So I no longer have access to it. So it's no longer there, unlike the Windows 10, where the Windows 10, where the administrative tools can be located easily. So it's actually a folder that contains shortcuts to all of those applications. So computer management, I explained this in our last class. So if you want to find computer management, I think my battery is about to go off. So I think I'm going to quickly explain this. If you want to find this, you can just right click on this PC and let me open show more options. So it's going to show, so this, once I click on management, it's going to open it up for me. Or I can just come and search for computer management right here. So this is computer management here, and it's going to open all of this. So this is where you can actually manipulate your disk management, manipulate the performance of your computer system. Usually you can partition disk, your task viewer, event viewer, that's the log of events that have happened in your computer system, and the rest. So that is that. Also, you can manage your users, your guest users and standard users performance, which we saw in the control panel. Then component services. These are administrator tools that are always used by only developers, okay, to deploy and configure components in the computer system. So they are used to configure system components. Then services, like I opened earlier, you can find it in your task manager. So if you open task manager, you can just, when it comes to services, you can open services here, which I opened earlier. So you can see services, all services that are running on my computer system right here. Okay. So I think print management, all these things you can always set them from your start menu. Print management, where you can manage all your printers and the rest. Then Windows Memory Diagnostics, this is opened from when you start up the system for the first time, or from your BIOS menu. Then system information, I actually opened that in my settings. When you just search for about system, it's going to open up your system information, shows you your processor version, your Windows, your RAM, everything. Then I showed it also if you want to open this system configuration, you can just open command prompt, or you press Windows, your Windows key and R, and I press ms config. So you can see where I have my general. If I want my laptop, my system to boot on safe mode, I just come and click on check safe mode. And when I'm booting my system, it's going to boot from safe mode. Then services, all services, I can uncheck them here. Startup, open task manager to manipulate it. And tools, display list of diagnostics tools. Like I said earlier. All right, so I think the registry, I talked about the registry also. Then regedit, this actually is a system file. Remember, I said all these things are used by developers. So where you can actually edit registries. So I can also search for it here. So you can see it's asking for administrative permission. So anything I manipulate here is actually going to affect one program or the other, which I'm not going to be doing anything there. So Microsoft Management Control. This allows the creation of custom management consoles for collection of utilities and tools from Microsoft and other resources. So it actually allows the construction of management consoles for specific purposes. So these are actually developer tools, which you might not really understand. So you see things like ActiveX controls and web page links here. And this is the DirectX diagnostics tool. If you want to open this, when you press your Windows R, you press the DIAG, going to open this tool for you. And right here, you're going to see your system information, everything you're seeing here, the kind of DirectX that is installed on your computer system. You can see it next page, still opening. So you can see next page, inputs, and the rest. Everything that's connected to your computer system, you will see here. So I'm just going to, I've explained this earlier, and this, and this, and this. So disk optimization. So when you check for the properties of a disk, you can actually right click it and you see a way you can optimize the disk for better performance. Just going to show that so you can see general tools. So I can actually optimize my disk right here. So it will help your system to run faster. So error checking, so you can find it in that disk optimization tool. And I talked about the system requirements here to run some kind of applications. So for any application you want to install, you must always check for the minimum system requirements to install those applications. Very important. Then graphics card, I explained this when talking about hardware, when we built our PC. So VRAM is actually a dedicated graphics card. So dedicated graphics card actually comes with VRAM. And this actually helps to run your graphic applications, high graphic applications like your games and even that simulator I was running. So if you want to install an application, for example, I'm going to show you how to install an application now. So I'll explain ISO mountable and running this also. So it's an application. For example, I have an application here on my downloads. So under programs, let's say I want to install if I want to install, what should I install right now? Let's say WinRAR. So it's going to ask me to click yes. So once I click on install, I run the setup and it automatically install, and I click on OK. So I've actually installed WinRAR right now. So remember when I
So yeah, I just realized.
I think I have to call it a day for today and drop the recording of this class later on. So we'll continue in our next class. Thank you very much. God bless you. Let me see.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. Just sorry for taking so much of your time.